Hello everybody, this is Armor Lead, and today we are going over the Ki-49 llbL. This is the last Ki-49 plane in the series from the Japanese tree, and it is the one that I fly the most. Just checking my direction, I think we're going to swing towards the left here. For armament, this thing boasts 6 guns. Cannot drop a torpedo, which was one of my favorite things to do, so little biased. That's my one disappointment for the armament, but it drops a decent amount of bombs, able to destroy a base if you make a good run over top of it. We're going to give this thing an armament score 2 out of 3. The next thing to check is agility. And for agility, can we do a barrel roll? No, we cannot do a barrel roll. But we are able to move around a little bit, dodge and weave. We will give this thing a 2 out of 3 for agility. Going through the fog, difficult to see what's going on. We need to level out. Since I can't see where I'm going or what direction I'm heading, I decided to switch to my guns because then the airplane will go on autopilot and level itself out. I very nearly crashed doing this. Cut a little more to the right here. Generally, it's a really good idea to keep a lookout. We can't really see very well what's going on. Hopefully that means they can't see us. The bad part, or the downside to flying in clouds for cover, is it obscures the target. You can't see it. If this were a simulator battle, it would mean I wouldn't be able to drop at all. If the clouds are over my target and I'm in the clouds, I kind of have to guess, but I can usually get a decent hit by aiming for the target icon instead of the target itself. We're gonna ease around. Okay, I'm coming into the clear. We're looking good. Gonna cut a little more to the right. We are hopefully going to get to test our durability today. About 2,000. We're going to drop and turn and dive. I like to be aware of where the runway is and I'm aiming for, because I often miss it, so I try to watch for it. It's looking mostly clear. We're going to go for it. Looks like our team is winning.
Destroy the target.
In this tier, the other players are usually fairly distracted, and they let bombers slip by. I've recently been playing in the next tier, and there's always somebody waiting to shoot me down. So I have to be much more circumspect and a lot more careful, and even then, I'm shot down before I reach the target. For this bomber, it is enough to destroy the target to pay for the bomber. So even if the bomber is shot down and destroyed, we'll be able to repair it and keep flying. Coming up, we're still looking good and clear. A cloud cover, we were able to mostly approach in the cloud cover. Close enough. Here we go. Opening bombing bay doors and approaching. Oh. It's important to pay attention to your surroundings. That person's going to dive on us and they're probably going to kill us. We're going to find out what our top speed is. means we probably can't hit this target. We'll have to settle for the next one. It's very important that we drop so we can pay for the bomber. Goodness, we're doing really good at 550, but I can't dive faster or go quicker. .550 is pretty good. Here at our dive, we weren't really accelerating much. But I messed up the drop, didn't destroy the whole base. It looks like we were able to dive away from our opponent. They decided not to lose all their altitude to come kill us. Does not mean we won't get shot down heading back to the airfield. But we have a better chance of surviving at the moment. As a bomber, one responsibility, as I see it at least, is to get the enemy fighters to give up their altitude. A fighter that gives up its altitude advantage is often a dead fighter, and I can contribute to the battle in that way. A little surprised nobody's come to kill us just yet, but that might change here. I really want to get the durability check in. Nobody came after me. No durability check. We're going to land, we're going to rearm, and we will try that again. It's good being able to land and rearm, ups my score, and hopefully I'll be able to take out a whole base. It's good to pay for the bomber. It's even better to make a little bit of money for the next craft. So far, I must admit, all of the aircraft I have reviewed and shown are aircraft I have spaded. Pretty soon we're going to get into aircraft that I haven't spaded. In about 3 weeks I'm working on a new plane. I would say what it is, but I probably say the name wrong. Numbers and letters. And I don't remember it very well. There's the field. We can drop gear with this bomber at below 300. Otherwise the landing gear rip off. With the KI series, at least, you gotta watch, because the landing gear don't always come down. The flaps come down as if the gear is supposed to come down, but the gear itself, there we go. We're coming in at a decent speed, decent altitude, and there's a craft coming in behind us.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
I hit that one a little hard. That's a little unnerving, but looks like they didn't survive their attack.
Getting down!
The game may be over before much longer. Let's see if we can't get that durability check. 550 for speed's not bad. We're going to give this thing a 2 out of 3. I possibly could have gone faster, up to 600. But it looked like as we were diving away, we were doing pretty good to go 550. We'll give this thing a 2 out of 3 for speed.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
We're gonna go
Attention
closer
to the
to the
map.
enemy. Normally I would go to finish off the other base and then drop on the next one. But we need to check durability, so we need to be shot at, and it's looking like this is the direction where the enemy is. AA may also hit us, and we'll see if the AA can knock us down.
Victory is close.
Generally it feels like the Japanese aircraft can't take much. Some of them do better than others, though. The KI series, I usually have pretty good luck in taking hits. I can take what feels like a decent amount of hits without really going down. But I won't feel good about giving this thing a durability score if we don't take at least some hits. I don't mind not dying, but I was really hoping to show durability. Looks like this one's about to be concluded, though. I can't be too disappointed if we don't die, because then that's not a repair cost I have to pay. But I am a little disappointed because I wanted to show this craft taking hits. You can sometimes land and do really well with a decently damaged bomber, or at least a limp. By really well, I mean making it back to the airbase and landing in such a way that the airplane will repair. You can even do that after the airplane is officially destroyed. Make it back to base and repair and fly again. Still have to pay the full repair cost, but you're able to keep flying and doing damage. Well, I got to jabbering and forgot to open my bombing bay door, but we made it in time. So let's see if we can't do a little better on this base. No idea what that black circle was about, and it looks like I messed up a second base. What we'll do if we're able to make it back is we'll reload and drop on both remaining bases. Sometimes in a game I can get 3 runs, but it doesn't happen very often. Either I'll be shot down or the game will end before I can make a full 3 runs. With this aircraft, it feels like, I have to say it feels like, because I don't always remember things correctly, it feels like I am able to make 2 bombing runs a decent amount of times. But I also fly this bomber more than many of the others. I have to say I do enjoy this bomber. The Betty is still my favorite, but this one's pretty good too. Don't know where an enemy craft is. Normally I want to stay concealed, so the enemy can't find me and shoot down.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Concealment, stealth, trickery. It's, in a way, really harder to fly a bomber than a fighter. In a fighter, you're seeking the enemy out and you're testing your piloting skill against your opponent, and it's a pretty good fight. The bomber is almost more like a ninja, because you kind of have to be sneaky, hide in the shadows, and do your sneaky shadow strikes to kill your opponents, and then you duck and dodge and weave and bob away, fading back into the shadows to get more knives so you can throw out more opponents. It's not necessarily takes more skill to fly a bomber, but it definitely takes skill, just a different kind of skill than it does for flying fighters. I try flying fighters and I am absolutely no good doing it. It's just not the way I'm wired, but I can fly a bomber. Really, you just have to pick in this game what's fun. Do you have fun doing your rogue attacks, or do you have fun being a tank, or whichever? You just have to stick with what's fun. It's a game, right? Uh-oh. Oh, good. Looks like I'm landing a little better. Now notice that my flaps did not come down when I lowered the landing gear. It just, I suspect that that is not a bug, but rather design, and I wasn't watching close enough and I didn't lower my flaps, and anywho, it looks like we made it anyway.
Victory will be ours.
Well, we've already paid for the bomber. We're going to try to destroy both those targets that are remaining. It could be that the last couple of planes are not fighters and that they're bombers. It could be that they are fighters, but they're aware of the possibility of losing and they're trying to be sneaky. I don't know where they're at. And sometimes people just land, which is kind of frustrating, but it does preserve their craft. The loss comes that their craft is not destroyed. I can understand a person wanting to do that to preserve their bank account. It just frustrates me is all. I don't often get to make a third run, but something's going on. Eventually, the timer will run out, and it looks like our team is going to win. Do we have blind hunt? Yes, we do. Blind hunt is useful when people are trying to hide. Now maybe we'll see where they're at. Usually there's a big red square where someone's hiding.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
Because I thought blind hunt mostly showed you where the enemy was. It's a little frustrating that it doesn't. Oh well. We're just gonna have to fly to target, load up. And we're gonna cross our fingers and hope we can test some of the durability before we're done. Nice, we have an escort. Don't often have an escort, but bombers are targets, and the bomber has a better survival chance, I believe, if it has a fighter escort. And if they are fighters waiting in ambush to shoot down easy targets like me, well, then that fighter is in a good position to hunt them down. Sometimes you can't tell where your prey is, so if you're going to hunt them, you can't try to look for them. What you do instead is you wait for where they're going to be. So if you're hunting deer, you wait by a water source, then the deer come down and drink and you shoot them. Or if you're a fighter, you wait by the bomber, the big, juicy, killable bomber, and wait for the fighter to appear and kill it. So the fighter will help ensure that I get close. The fighter gets the benefit of finding an enemy who possibly will be more focused on me than them, making it easier for them to kill him. It's a win-win for both the fighter and I. A6M2 is a Japanese craft, but the American roundels on it. Our pilot here has a sense of humor. Okay, opening bombing bay doors. I'm going to drop half on this target, and then I'll drop half on the next one. Going slow so that my escort can keep up with me and I don't accidentally run into them. Here we are, lining up on the next half-dead target. We'll drop our remaining bombs on it if the game lasts that long. Yeah, that person deserves prowess. It's not very often someone is willing to escort and protect a bomber. They just want to go in and do the kill. So them doing that, really, that's a big team player type of attitude to have.
A little more effort, and victory will be ours.
I'll confess, when I fly fighter, I don't usually escort the bombers. I stay low and I go after ground targets. So I don't even show the good team player escorting ability. It's not common. There we go. Our last 6 for this. The game will probably end before we land. I don't think I've ever managed to do 4 runs. Oh, now it shows up. Now it does. Okay. The match should not be on much longer. There it is. Well, this one was kind of a long video, longer than usual. If you stuck with it, well, thank you. Leave a like if you don't mind. We did not get to check durability, so I'm not putting down a durability score. I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.